I completely gaslit you, Dan.
And obviously Jakob is like just good man, isn't he? So they do double threshold days.
Sounds horrible.
Because if I put zone 4, what are you going to do?
Zone
In
5.
Zone 5. Yeah, I know, but you could probably have, if you tried harder. That was the one word. Chuck them off a boat.
Yeah, it says, right, jump off a boat into 10 degrees.
Yep.
Then you do 180k on the bike.
Yeah, mate, and it's in bleak winter.
Dan, you got loads of paperwork with you today, mate. Should I feel intimidated by this?
Show notes, mate. Show notes.
What I like is...
I feel like a pro podcaster now.
Well, is the respect that I think you show, this show, and therefore our audience,
Fair.
that you've come with all of this information, because
Yeah.
I think that I'm going to ask you some difficult questions today. We are going to be talking about all things Norwegian, but I have got a little bit of housekeeping to do. This happens a lot because we make mistakes.
They're not big mistakes. They're
fun mistakes.
They're what, like general knowledge mistakes.
Typically,
Ish.
this one is all on me.
This is quite a funny one.
A couple of weeks ago, on the first episode of the Winter Lab, I completely gaslit you, Dan.
Sort of. I did. Definitely, if you listen back to the episode, I did try and prompt you with what I can only describe as a bemused... No, it was definitely, yeah.
You're too soft, which is unlike you on that occasion, because you normally go hard and fast with your actual opinions. But I basically tried to convince you that the Qatar World Cup had not happened yet. I actually watched the Qatar World Cup.
Yeah, it was the Christmas one,
I
wasn't
don't
it?
understand
Yeah.
why I thought...
I think you even referenced it was a Christmas World Cup.
I just
as well.
think...
Was it not Qatar last time?
No, it was one, but it's way in the future when they won it.
Oh, okay.
It's always because they're building the infrastructure on the back of winning the bid. So I am going to get checked in for a dementia test. I don't know what's happened to me, but I apologise to anyone that listened, and I will stop talking about football at this stage.
Sounds good.
So we'll get back to what this podcast is good at doing, which is talking about endurance training.
And not facts of the world.
I can't promise we won't get anything wrong in this episode, so tune back in for some more housekeeping next week.
No.
So, Norwegians.
Yes. They're like hot commodity at the moment, aren't
They're bloody fast, mate.
They are.
They're bloody fast.
They are fast.
There's a family of fast.
I have seen the greatest memes about this as well.
Really?
Yeah, because obviously the male Ironman World Champs was won by the podium was all Norwegians.
Really?
Yeah, it was first, second, third.
Crikey.
And then at the weekend, a female won it. Well, a couple of weekends ago, a female won it. And some of the memes I've seen, the greatest one I've seen is just a Google search bar, and they've typed in, "How do I become a Norwegian citizen?"
Do you think? I mean, I'm sure you've got loads of like ideas, but like, do you think it's a climate-y thing? Am I?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, you just think straight away.
Something in the
like,
water.
There is like some good cyclists in the past have lived in like Colombia. And I believe that's at elevation or certain elevation.
Okay.
So they've become very good cyclists.
Okay.
Or like you said, a climate thing. So I don't know. Well, effectively, no. Norway isn't a particularly nice climate. But then is that a reason?
Does it lend itself to like grittiness? I actually did a bit of research on the climate.
Okay.
So I thought we could start there if you want.
Norway in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
My notes for this were climate bit wild. Climate's a bit wild. So average temperatures. So you've got they've broken it down into 5 different parts of Norway.
Okay.
So you've got like Oslo,
which
everyone knows, which is the sort of southeast.
Yeah.
Bergen, which is west coast.
Which is where the 3 guys come from.
Correct. We'll get to that. Trondheim.
Okay.
Mid. Tromsø. This is not going well. This is going to be the housekeeping next week.
Yeah.
And Svalbard. They're the different regions. But if you look at the winter and summer variance in temperature, you've got some places that go from -5 to sort of 25, which I think's normal. Well, no, normal, isn't it?
I guess that is.
That would be.
Yeah, that's kind of the UK, really.
That's London, right?
Yeah.
But if you looked at Svalbard, I'm butchering that.
You are, yeah.
-15, and then if you're really lucky, you'll get about 4 degrees.
No way.
So that's got a kind of Arctic.
That's the south. No, the north.
High Arctic.
The high Arctic, okay. Yeah.
So that's the variance in the climate. So I wonder if there's a scientific part to that.
Well, isn't Norway like just classically known as one of the greatest places to live in terms of like value for life?
Possibly.
Yeah, it's like a
Part of that.
urban myth, isn't it? That like Norwegians are happy all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a thing. Like
Yeah.
it voted the
Like the Swedes as well.
yeah the happiest place to live on earth is like Norway or something.
Scandinavia.
Yeah, Scandinavian mentality, isn't
Okay,
it?
yeah.
That sauna sort of like.
They do it naked, don't they? The Scandinavians.
I don't know. I've not been actually. I don't know. I've never really been. Copenhagen's the only sort of place I've been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be brave enough, but there we go.
Yeah.
I'd get nervous. And it's
So
not,
anyway, yes, and there's not the climate. No.
Okay.
It's not the climate.
Yeah, as we talked about in the winter lab, those minus temperatures are not your mate.
No, they are not your mate.
Cool.
No, someone actually tagged me in after he listened to it in a vest out for a run.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that was like what, 10 degrees, 12
Coach Dan.
degrees? Yeah.
Stop
Well,
it.
it was a relatively warmer afternoon. When we reference the winter, we are talking the depths of winter.
December, Jan.
Yeah, that it doesn't actually really get that cold in the UK until sort of Jan, Feb.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's very rare that it snows at Christmas, that classic British Christmas.
It's more like Feb now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely March, even March time.
Yeah, odd.
But yeah, so they are dominating triathlon, long course triathlon. Now,
Okay.
one thing about the Norwegian method is it involves, like, classically, I mean, just cut through a little bit, a lot of training. So
Okay.
it's going to involve being good at longer distance events. However,
you can do things badly for a lot. Right?
Yeah. However, Christian did win the gold medal at the Olympics, like at Tokyo.
Pretty good accolade.
Yeah, it's
then.
pretty good. Yeah,
Pretty solid.
and obviously Jakob is like just the man, isn't he? Like he's just
He's the man in certain disciplines. Isn't
yes, yeah. Tends to be what he lends himself best to. He's not great at doing. Remember we talked about like the 1500s, the 5k. Obviously won the gold medal at 5k, but didn't do very well at 1500. We didn't do very well. He still did really well.
But to his standards.
Yeah, to winning really to him.
Stole like your favourite word, Dan.
What?
Do you know what your favourite word is?
What's that?
Specificity.
Specificity. Yes.
It's actually tough to say.
Specificity.
You obviously got a bit of practice saying that word.
Yeah,
I struggled
quite
then.
a lot. I said it quite a lot. I guess it's where to start. Like, because the Norwegian method has been literally stapled as a method.
Yeah.
There are methods out there, and I'll reference them later. Like, there's a Mathatone method, there's the 80-20 method, there's Kenyon's method or approach. So there's lots of different ways to train. Kind of like zones.
Okay.
These methods apply themselves to theories and ways of training that can be adapted to certain individuals to make them faster. It's all about...
Are they similar in different ways? Yeah. Are there any similarities? I sometimes see all these methods of running as like religions, and there's a crossover, like a big Venn diagram,
I would say, they are to a degree. There's definitely a... The funniest thing is there's definitely a big thing on doing low intensity and lots of it.
I felt like I saw that, yeah.
Through all the methods, no matter what method you look at, it's low intensity, which is actually the opposite to what most novices tend to come into training and do.
And think they need to do.
Like, you think you need to get faster, so you instantly go, I need to go harder for more.
Suffering does not equal speed anymore.
No.
We know this now.
No, I don't think it never has.
Well, I mean, it does in your novel brain.
Yeah.
And then you realise...
But this is why I'm sort of desperate to sort of like get into the world of high rocks, to just like strangle them and just go, like, what are you doing?
This is a health warning for people that
It's a health
come
warning
to you
on
for
just high
coaching.
rocks. But it's the same. It's an endurance event
It is.
with lots of, the thing is, Hunter was breaking it down the other day actually, and it was he broke it down quite well, actually. He's trying to do some kind of record.
Okay.
And he was applying his method. Hunter's methods are methods, but he hasn't got they certainly won't be patented, that's for sure.
Or backed by any science, really.
No, it's a bit of science. Bro science. But realistically, it's an endurance event. It's an hour or more for some.
But for him, it's an hour-ish, isn't it?
Yeah, him for an hour. It's an hour. I mean, that's an endurance event, isn't it? It has to be, whether it's involves strength or not. It's strength being obviously pushing the sleds, lifting and carrying. Whereas like a CrossFit event, there is way more explosiveness to it. So their training has to be very different.
Yes.
Very different. and you couldn't really apply these methods to something like that, or something like weightlifting. You know, it's
different.
So these methods don't apply to that to every sport. We're talking endurance sports.
Where does endurance start? Is that from the 1500 up, do you think?
Yeah, I'd say so. So anything...
Because 1500 is still quite short, but you still need aerobic to be quick at it.
Yes, but
800 is
and
still...
And Ingebrigsten will tell you the amount he trains, you know.
Mad for the distance he races.
Yeah, 800 is what, 2 minutes?
It's hybrid though, isn't it? Because you still need aerobics.
Tipping over.
Yeah.
You're just tipping over.
Yeah. So we're saying 1500 and up.
Yeah, realistically, which sounds crazy, doesn't it? And obviously there's different, you know, within your training, if you're training for the 1500, you've got to be doing a lot of work to utilize lactate as a fuel.
Yeah.
You know, because lactate, commonly, it isn't the enemy. It's just not good for longer distance athletes, but it's really good for short distance athletes because your body prefers to use lactate as a fuel. It enjoys it. So if you learn to suffer, your body will utilize it and move forwards with it.
Okay, and that's do you think the mistake of high rocks athletes is that it's too long of an event for that to be true?
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, because they tend to only train in that zone a lot, don't they?
Yeah.
Whereas realistically, there's a lot of zone 2 in there. A lot
Needs to be.
more. It needs to be, yeah. But this is, again, I don't want to get this confused within this whole pod that I want to try and break it down to people so that it can be achievable.
Okay.
You know, so let's say you've got, you know, I'll break it down throughout. You've got 5 hours in the week to train. Well, realistically, if most of your work is zone 2, well, 4.5 hours of that needs to be zone 2. Do you get what I mean? So it's how do you apply it to the average person?
Got it.
But then the average person only has 5 hours. So actually, depending on your goal, what you're trying to achieve, the intensities will change.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so effectively, a study came out, like a genuine study. A guy called Stephen Seiler basically wrote to, like, I think it was 12 Norwegian coaches and then all their different athletes, and they basically got all the information and correlated all the information and put it into like a data system and spat out all the information.
Okay. What are they looking at?
So they were looking at every different discipline and then basically broke down what they do, how they do it, and trends, like between what the Norwegians were trying to do. And effectively, one of the biggest trends was that they did loads of training.
Yeah.
Loads of training.
One thing I've sort of observed myself, if I've understood this correctly, is it's basically like a lactate monitoring training so that it allows for the volume to take place. Is that right?
Yes, because so they control the intensity.
Yeah.
So they don't. They're not so. They control the easy, but when you're looking at going harder, they control that. So there's no brute force-esque element to it at all. They
don't tip that point.
They don't tip the point.
Yeah.
So the only way you can train more is by controlling it. So when they're going easy, we're talking zone 1 and zone 2. Now, the problem is they still shift at that zone 1 and zone 2. So their easy miles might be, I don't know, 4-minute K. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the problem. It's hard for the average Joe to go, yeah, but they're not running easy. But they are.
Relative.
Their heart rate is 130 or something, you know.
At 4 minutes?
Probably. Well, I don't know for gospel, but I'm just going to give an example. Might be like, I don't know, 420, 410. I don't know. I'm not with them. But effectively, it's easy, but it doesn't look easy to us. So we think it needs to be harder. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I do.
So it's, you've got to go out and do 6-minute Ks, you know, because that's what 130 is.
Yes.
You know, so it's intensity control, even at the lower level. So they'll do a lot at like zone 1 and zone 2. So majority of their training will be zone 1 and zone 2. But the big thing is then the double threshold days.
Okay.
So they do double threshold days.
Sounds horrible.
Now,
continue.
It isn't. It isn't. Now, I'll just go into like Christian and Gustav sort of stuff because they're triathletes. It's a bit easier for them to achieve because they can do a bike and a run double threshold day.
Different impact on the body.
Definitely. So it's bike and run. They might do like, I don't know. Threshold being they might do like, I don't know. Let's just say 10 3-minute efforts on the bike. Something like that. Yeah. And then they might go to the track in the evening and do 10 800s. Yeah, so that kind of threshold, that like 3-4 minute VO2 max pushing up, but then they will control it. So they'll be working on, let's say, 800 or Ks, and they will make sure that their millimole level of lactate is 2 to 3.
And
I believe 2 most of the time.
Yeah, live testing of that all the time.
Yeah, live testing. So they will get through, but that's only to keep a cap on it. So then they will then be able to train tomorrow at feeling relatively fresh. Within reason.
So I've got a question which I think other people might have, which is, if you train at those intensities, scientifically, how is it adapting you?
Because you're not going fast, or you're not trying to push the boundaries?
Max effort you're not doing. So how are you?
Because you are getting stronger all the time by the load. Okay. If you think about it in terms of like, I don't know, I guess if you break it down into like a weightlifter, you don't always lift max, do you? But if you lift 50 kilos tomorrow, you'd hope you'd lift 51 next week.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so you find your max, and then you're working within your max levels. You can't test that 50 kilos is 2 millimoles. But do you get what I mean? You just drip it each week. It just changes. So they're doing 2 threshold sessions that day. So they get the load of that threshold of like all the intensity in one day, instead of just doing 10 800s and an easy run in the morning, let's say, or an easy bike in the morning. They've got double threshold that day, so they've been able to put, let's say, an hour's worth of threshold into their body instead of 30 minutes worth of threshold. So that day they've done an hour of threshold, but they've controlled it to not go into way above VO2 max effort.
Yeah, got it.
So they've just controlled it. So you've got an hour at that threshold pace,
which is double the development.
It's double the development technically.
Yeah.
So then the next day is an easier day, but then the next day is an easier day, but then it might be like 7 hours. So they were averaging, I believe, up to like 30 hours a week as triathletes. Jeez. That's a lot of hours. So that's 5 hours a day. That's 5 hours a day with no rest days.
I think we found people that exercise more than you do.
I think we have.
Maybe just about.
So a big thing is the double threshold days. Okay. It's a massive part of their training. Now, as the average Joe out there, don't just instantly think, I'm going to go and do double threshold.
And get a divorce.
Get a divorce. Because you can't move.
Yeah. Well, no, because you're just never at home.
But the average Joe could do a double threshold if they are monitoring their training.
Tell us that, because that is a nugget, Dan.
Well, monitoring your training would be...
So if you can't test millimoles, what can you test?
Well, you can test your heart rate.
What's the heart rate?
Wow, realistically, like, just keep it below 160. That's a safe bet. 155, 160.
That for you then, that feels so not intense at all.
No, this is true. This is true.
Not intense. I'm not going that fast at 155.
No, but then if you go above that, and let's say I say, okay, go 170 heart rate. Mm-hmm. What does that feel like?
Harder.
A lot harder, yeah. Yeah,
but,
which is the point, isn't it?
But I could go, but it wouldn't be 185 either.
But then if you're putting, let's say you've got 10 hours a week.
Yeah.
And let's say during that week you do 2 days of double threshold. Don't forget, that's like, we're trying to break this down to you. I don't know, you got 10 hours. So that's like, let's say we have 2 rest days, 2 hours a day. So within those, 2 hours a day, split up into an hour in morning and nights, you do 2 double threshold days. So then you're getting an hour of threshold, let's say, within 2 of those days. So you get 2 hours of threshold a week. Times that by 6 months, a lot of threshold. You can't tell me you won't improve off that.
Do you think 160 is a threshold then? I think mine is 170.
For your threshold pace. Without testing lactate, you wouldn't know.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm just listening to Garmin, so no idea.
Yeah, this is listening to Garmin, isn't it? But this is where the lactate is individual to the Norwegian method. That's very specific. It's extremely specific. But that's why I'd say, as a recommending as a coach for a safe bet, would be 160. Because if you're going above it, it hurts.
I think 165. 165. Can I have 5 beats, please?
Yeah, I mean,
the difference is...
Let's be honest, I'll say 160, but it's like when I coach on the track, I just put zone 3. I'm no full blank way. No one's going to run zone 3. They're all going to run zone 4. But like, at least I'm trying to control their intensity a little bit. Because if I put zone 4, what are they going to do?
Zone 5. The human nature, so predictable.
It's just like, you just know.
I would run zone 3 unless someone overtakes me, Dan.
Exactly. And then you go.
I drop a gear and go, right,
people
let's
around.
go. Yeah.
So again, trying to be safe as a podcast is like, we need to stay lower. But yeah, but then you say this, and let's say you do 2 sessions where you do some certain efforts at 160 twice in the day. That's going to be hard.
It's relative, I think.
Yeah,
it would be harder. But
it'd be harder because it's twice that day you're hitting it.
150 something, I feel like I can't run. I feel like easy peasy. Yeah,
okay. But yeah, it's relative to the person.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell.
You
know, monitoring lactate is the best way. It's where they do it. And don't forget, you say that yours might be 10 beats higher. These are Olympic athletes. You would hope to think that their heart rates are lower than ours.
Oh, yeah, they definitely are, mate.
So this is it. So yours might be 170, but you'd have to find out. You know, you'd have to find out. Go get a lactate test. Be easiest way.
Do you know a guy?
Oh, yeah, I know a guy.
We'll sort that out so that we can answer that question, right?
But that's it. You could just go get your lactate tested. You don't need to buy a lactate monitor, and then you'd have an idea.
Yeah.
Remember, we are not Olympic athletes. We are hobbyists. So if we want
hobbies.
It's an expensive hobby. So if you want to control it, there are ways and means to do it without being as anal as these guys. So anyway,
that comment really lives with you, doesn't it, about the expensive hobby?
Expensive. Oh yeah, a friend, like I said, someone told me like 10 years ago, and I've never left me.
How funny is people these moments? That person doesn't remember saying that to you.
Probably not. No.
And it's lived with you.
Yeah.
And I've got my own packet of those.
Yeah, it's great, isn't
Everyone's
it? Those
got
things
them.
that just like go to your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had a conversation with my dad once, and I said, "Oh, you said this to me as a kid," and he doesn't have no idea, and it had a real impact on me.
Yeah,
He's got no idea.
Yeah.
It's mad.
I'd if we actually had a big audience, it'd be interesting to see comments where people send them in and say, "Well, what's that like strap line that sits for you?"
If you've got anything similar to Dan's, where it's someone's commented on your dreams and your hopes of being an athlete, and it sits with you today, and it's either motivated you or I would love to hear that, and we could feature it in the next
Half
episode.
of these listeners are just going to re-quote things I've told them. No,
Dan really peed me off by saying this. Yeah,
this one time.
Send them in, guys.
I actually told an athlete this morning. They said they don't enjoy 50s in the pool.
50s?
50-meter like efforts.
So that's one up and down?
Yeah, one up and down.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, I much prefer longer efforts." And I said, what did I say?
Was it offensive?
No, it's funny. I said, "Buckle up, buttercup."
Buckle up, buttercup.
We got places to go.
80s child you are. Yeah.
I basically said we got stuff to do.
Brilliant. But they like the longer efforts, so actually they're getting an easier ride while you're doing the 50s.
Wow, no, it's the intensity.
I see.
Yeah, so you're trying to do them hard. I mean, if you did an easy 50, then that's very different. But, you know, the longer efforts tend to be obviously at a different zone, so it's an easier effort.
Yeah. See, I love thrashing it.
This is it. It's different strokes for different folks.
I've learned to love the long distance slow stuff, by the way.
You have to adapt. But you wouldn't choose it.
Only because I know it works.
Yeah.
Is why I do it.
Yeah. Well, this is it, isn't it? It complements everything.
It does.
Kind of like this.
Yeah.
It complements it. So that's the Norwegians. Anyway, so they're both from Bergen. All 3 of them, the guys who did really well. I'll come on to Jakob.
This is the place that gets 0 to 20 degrees.
Okay, so not bad. It's cold in the winter.
The thing is, I can deal with that, by the way.
Naught. I couldn't. I don't like naught.
Naught's indoor, but like, what, 10 to 20? Laughing.
Yeah, okay.
That's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, like...
If it's between 10 and 20 in Newport, buzzing, mate. Absolutely buzzing.
You mean because it just keeps your heat down?
12 degrees, bit of mist. Go for it.
I'll actually add something to this. Something else, actually. So there some new stuff that the Norwegians are looking to actually work on. So they've optimized everything they've done, basically is what they're saying. And now, you know, like lactate, it's solid. There's nothing, they can't go take it anywhere else. You know, they can't be more, like, yes, it could be more efficient, but that's not to do with lactate. Lactate's set.
Yep.
The volume's set. You can't really do much. You can't do a lot more, as basically they've said.
Then 5 hours a day.
Can't do more volume. You can't do more than, basically what they're doing. So they're like, well, how can we then make gains? So like new bits. So there was a guy called Brad Clay. He's just released a book. and it's based on the Norwegians. So he spent time with them, and effectively he was talking about his next book is going to be how they're investigating the new stuff. So he was talking about how they're going to start. They have started to mess about with altitude.
Okay.
Yeah, elevate, same.
It's the same thing.
Same thing. So how long can they stay at altitude and keep the quality, and then come down and be like, we're even better. And then also the next one is heat. So how can they adapt to heat even more, and then utilize that and get even better? And then the next one is fueling. They still believe that fueling isn't at its limit. There's more to it.
Okay.
And literally there's been, they're the guys who have pushed it already.
Isn't your PhD on carb saving? We talked about this.
Yeah, effectively, yeah. So
different though?
Yeah, there are different ways that,
Sorry.
No one's going to kill me. I'm kind of like setting little secrets out here. There's a lot of people who use ketones in the world of endurance sports that don't promote that they use ketones.
Got it.
So they sometimes don't talk about it because it's that good.
Really?
Yeah, because why would you?
You want to keep something to yourself, right?
Yeah, and if it's working well, why would you tell everyone? You wouldn't. You can tell people certain things, like how many people always want to know how many carbohydrates they used in an hour. You tell them, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But if there's something secret sauce, it's like, we keep that in the down low. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
So Norwegians train a lot, control everything by lactate. Big on that, like massive. I think they've come away a little bit from that this year because they haven't split from their coach, but he doesn't have such an on deck sort of presence anymore. So their coach was Olaf Alexander Boo, which is he's a really good scientist. He's moved towards more he's moved towards like a cycling team more. I'm sure he has.
Okay.
Anyway, so the 3 Norwegians this year have done a lot more on their own, and I feel like the reason they might have got a bit better is because they might have added a few little bits in that we just don't even know about yet, like maybe a bit more intensity, and there's all sorts of things. But the things we've got from the study is the fact that these are cliches within, they're repeated things.
Yes.
So it's the high volume. But then with the Norwegian triathletes, it's obviously we know because they tell us more information. This was more just their trends.
But do you think they are hiding little secrets?
Yeah, you gotta. I think they all would. I think everyone would.
So we'll never really know.
No, but the trends are the double thresholds.
Yeah, okay.
So they tend to do that twice a week, 35 hours a week, controlling things by lactate. And their approach to fueling is quite unique. So they have completely got rid of the bravado of fasted training.
We've done that. Dan.
Yeah.
I've learnt my lesson now.
So fasted training, carb saving. You don't use as many, so you can adapt to using fats. Effectively, their theory is, I'll utilize more fats at a higher level when I'm fitter. So the fitter I get, the more I'll utilize my fat.
Because your heart rate is low enough for that to be a possibility.
Literally, yeah. Because
the heart rate is basically like the gearbox, isn't it? It's we're in third gear now, so I'm getting the carbs.
Yeah, so you can start using this glycogen that we've got, stored literally. So that Brad was saying that the mentality within the Norwegian kids, they just eat. And he literally quoted something that they challenge each other to eat more carbohydrates within a session to feel better.
They could tune into my YouTube and watch the 10,000 calories.
Yeah, they could actually see how they get on.
Yeah.
More it's... Someone sent me this as well. Hunter is a high rock surf. No one knows Hunter McIntyre, isn't it?
Yes. And
he was blabbing on his. I think he might have a podcast. I don't know, his YouTube, and he was talking about sugar is a superfood. I said they're a bit dangerous. A little bit of another dangerous comment from another high roxer.
Yeah.
They like a few rogue comments. But effectively, he's right. But it needs to be applied at the right time.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by A1 Physique. Now, all throughout these episodes, you'll hear Coach Dan and myself talk about the importance of recovery for your training. Nothing better than collagen for instant recovery from really intense workouts. Ligaments, tendons need repair. And by encompassing this in a morning daily coffee, it becomes the easiest supplement to add into your daily routine. Available from our website, free shipping, and each cup is giving you 21 grams of that nourishing collagen protein coffee, perfect for athlete recovery and endorsed by Coach Dan himself.
So the Norwegians effectively have utilised that, and they tend to utilise sugars, carbohydrates during training, which then means it puts less pressure outside of training. Because if you are, I mean, you can't do it every session. You know, if you're doing an intense session, try putting a gel down you in like 10 1Ks. It doesn't really happen. However, their intensity is a bit lower, so they
probably could then, couldn't they?
They can, yeah, because they're being smart.
It's like marathon heart rate, really, isn't
it?
So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, effectively.
Because you say 160 is marathon heart rate, right?
Well, yeah, that's for us, though, isn't it? Don't forget, like they're different beasts. They can do different things.
But what they're doing at 160 surely is just better.
Yeah.
So still 160.
Yeah, this is true, but they could probably go lower.
Oh, that hurts.
Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know what their max heart. It's very rare you get a max heart rate referenced ever with a pro athlete. I can't remember ever a pro athlete ever really talking to me about
releasing it.
No, I've never really heard about it. Jan Frodeno, I've heard it a couple of times because the T100 have it on their screen, and then he says like,
well, they have their max heart rate.
Kind of. It gives you their current, and it says this is how much of their max. And Jan Frodeno went, I don't even remember the last time I saw my max heart rate. He said, I think it was like, he then said something like 182 or something, and then he said, but that was like 10 years ago, and I'm older now, so it's probably come down a little bit. So like no one really knows. Like I don't really know what my max heart rate is.
I got up to 189 the other day.
That's what I mean. So
that hurt, mate.
This is what I mean. Like I don't really ever look for my max. I'll never go to my max anymore unless it's like a 5K max effort. It's very rare for me to be in that situation anymore.
This was a 1K almost max effort for me. Do you remember?
Yes.
And he killed me.
But to get it in a 1K session is probably not your max. Do you get what I mean? Because it's one.
I was sending that, mate.
Yeah, I know, but you could probably have if you tried harder. That was the one word. What? If you went longer, then you could have.
If you're not watching this podcast, you don't know where I looked at Dan. Then
if you then did like a mile, it probably would have went higher.
I think I just would have broke down.
Wow, yeah, but it would probably would have went higher before you broke.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because it's only it was 3 minutes, wasn't it? It was like 3:26,
something like that.
Yeah,
it wasn't far over 3:20.
Yeah. So, but if you think about that, there's still a bit more time in there somewhere.
I don't know if I ever want to find out, mate. To be honest.
All right. So anyway, so that, and then we'll move that. So kind of the trends were the fact that the Norwegians do a lot. Really control the intensity, like massively control it, like literally put a lid on it. The problem is we just try and aspire to be them. Like when you see on their YouTube, they're going around and doing like 320k pace at like 2 millimoles. We just see 320k pace.
You're not looking at the data. It's not the relativity of that.
You're not thinking, what would I do 2 millimoles in? And I'm probably thinking, probably more like 4. And I'm like, yeah, that's where I should be. Whereas no, I look at 320.
Yeah, it sounds way sexier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Of course it does.
I did 10 1Ks at 4 minutes a K. Or if I did 10 1Ks at 320s, you're like, yeah, okay, sound. That's good.
Spicy.
Yeah. So, Jakob, now completely different because he can't do as much training as the other guys, as like the Norwegian triathletes, because he is just a runner. So there is a cap because you literally would
impact.
Impact. It's a massive thing, but again, they control it. Now, one of his favorite sessions, which I literally, I would fear this session. So he does 10 by 200 meter hill reps, but the hill isn't like a massive gradient. It's like, I don't know. They said like 4 or 5%.
Okay.
So I don't really know what 4 or 5% in my head looks like, but it's like a steady gradient that he's shifting up. So we do 10 by 200 hill efforts. Says it works on his strength, his speed, and in his endurance twice. He does it twice. Not twice in a day, twice in the session. So we do 20 200 meter hill sprints.
I've got a practicality question for you.
Go on.
How do you get back down to do it again?
Oh yeah, jog back.
I want to walk back.
I want to walk. Yeah. No, you can't walk back. It's too chilled. But yeah, so he's like he's not going max because that's part of a double threshold day. That'll be the one session.
I don't know how you control that.
And then he'd go back and do something else in the evening where he controls his millimoles, doing like 800s or 400s on the track. I guess that'll shift. So he always does the hills. So like 1500 meters, 5K, that's like his staple. That's like it never leaves his training. which obviously works. So,
Yeah.
but I've seen hill sessions in other people's, like the Kenyans do it. They're big on hills. So that he's not the first one to do hills, but you physically can't get more than running up a hill. You know, you've got, I think we talked about it before, just like it's such a strength gainer.
The load increases, doesn't it?
Because you're moving up the hill. Yeah. Gravity's doing its thing, and it's massive. So that's one big thing that he like swears by. I think they said he aims for like in and around 20 hours a week.
So it's not massive compared to the other numbers we talked about.
Yeah, but like you got to run for 20 hours a week, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think there was some gym and stuff involved in that. But that's humongous amount of training for a runner. Massive amounts. But they literally do. So the guy, Brad kept referencing, the fact that he was doing like Kenyan shuffle, which is like basically zone 1. Like the Kenyan
shuffle.
So they call it the Kenyan shuffle because they literally are doing zone 1. But this is where you're almost at like 120 heart rate. The problem is at 120, he's probably still doing 4-minute K or something like that, or 420 or something, where it still looks respectable on Strava. But actually, he is just shuffling around.
God, 120. I just
you know,
can't imagine that.
He's just
it's just impossible to imagine.
Pure chill. But if you're thinking you're trying to cover like all that training in a week, it's impossible not to do that and control the intensity. But it's but he's not doing it. You got to remember, he's not doing it lazy. It's with perfect form.
Yeah.
He's not just floating around. He's picking his feet up. He's running wild. He's conscious of his. Like, this is an Olympic gold medalist. This isn't just the average person.
It's
here.
hard when you start though, and to do that because I think I talked to you about form. It's hard.
Yeah, it's
Turn
really
your
hard.
legs over.
It's almost harder because you're having to almost physically lift your legs up.
Yeah.
You know, you almost have to lift them up to land on your forefoot a little bit.
It's always in very slow motion as well. You start out, so,
very slow motion.
Yeah, heart rate.
Slow motion.
Yeah, heart rate's hard work. Okay. Do you adapt and use some of this theory in your actual coaching? Do you think you do?
Brad Culp was the guy's name.
Culp. CULP.
Yeah. It's a book. So he's the one who released the book.
Okay.
Say it again. Sorry.
No, it's fine. So the stuff that Norwegians do well, how much of, or do you include that in your training for your athletes?
That's a good question.
Thanks, mate. I try.
Yeah. Like mine personally, or what I coach.
Well, I guess both. Because you're your own coach, I suppose.
Yeah. And I tend to.
Do you actually talk to yourself? You go, oh, Dan, that was a shit run. Give yourself
a
hard time. I don't know why I'm doing puppet hands, but
not so much like the
is
two
it in the
devils
mirror?
on the shoulder. Yeah. Shut up, Dan.
You need to push harder, Dan.
Yeah, shut up.
Right, let's go back to being serious. Sorry.
Do I talk to myself? No, not. I guess not really. No.
Do you? You could be doing the Mr. Miyagi voice to yourself.
Yeah.
Soon come.
No, I don't.
Good.
I don't really know. I don't. It's annoying when I'm tired. That frustrates me.
Okay.
Because I'm like, why didn't I have a bit more of a cap on that? That gets to me a little bit.
What do you mean?
Like, why did I not see that coming?
Oh, and predict the time.
Yeah, that frustrates me. Like,
What's responsible for that? Overtraining?
No, normally life. Like,
life's tough.
Yeah, like it's been busy.
Life comes up and just slaps you back of the head.
Literally, like it could be anything. You know, it's very rare that. Truthfully, if I'm having like a training focused couple of weeks, it's great. I don't really get that tired. And if I get tired, I can still train because it's not that mental, physical fog of exhaustion. Which is one thing that the Norwegians don't really have because that's all. It's the one obvious thing is it's their full life.
But it can't be from the start.
No, so they literally...
when they start out, they're going to have to be doing the rest of us like we do zone 2, zone 1,
well,
6 minutes.
A lot of them start as kids, so they don't really ever know anything different.
Do you think it's in the culture?
Yeah, so literally, so I can't remember what it was, but it was in Bergen, and effectively what started all this off is Brad references the fact that there was this Olympic trials or come and be a triathlete. So Christian Blumenfeld and Solvig, who just won the female Ironman World Champs, they were swimmers, and the coaches said to them, "You ain't going to be a swimmer."
Oh, not good enough.
You're not good enough. So go try and do triathlon.
just get you to pop around and say, if you tried harder,
yeah,
guys,
if you tried harder,
you'd be a better swimmer.
Yeah.
We talked about people leaving their comments about statements that have lived with them.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
It's a Solveig reference to a coach, not in a mean way, but in a way that her coach approached her, and said like, you're not going to be a swimmer. Yeah. So Christian was a swimmer, and then effectively went to these tryouts, and they I guess he got picked, but they were quite young. I think they believe they were 15, 16 at the time.
Okay.
So him and Gustav went to this. I think they did quite well, and then they just moved on from there. I'd like to see the people who didn't, what they're doing.
Yeah, right.
The ones that failed. You never hear the stories. You're never going to hear those stories.
Well, of course not stories, are they?
But like Gustav's brother is also a coach in the national team.
Okay.
And he's his own person now and coaches. He coaches Solveig, I think. Does he? No.
Someone fact check us.
Unless he coaches Casper. I think he coaches Casper.
Okay.
Who won the Ironman World Championships.
Yes.
Don't think he coaches Solveig, actually, saying that. But that's Gustav's brother. So like, how crazy is that? His brother is a pro triathlete and he's a coach.
Yeah.
So, he was on. They were both on the Olympic scheme to be good. So he's then been brought up with the same mentality and the same processes, and now he just applies that to athletes himself.
I do think it's part of their culture, isn't it? Like you said,
It is part of their culture.
When I looked at Norway and all of its quirks regarding sports, one thing I found was they have something they host called a death race triathlon. Have you heard of this? No. It's called Norseman Extreme.
Oh yeah, the Norseman. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Norseman. Yeah.
So
it's mental, mate.
So
but chuck them off a boat.
Yeah, it says right. Jump off a boat into 10 degrees.
Yep.
Then you do 180k on the bike.
Yeah, mate, and it's in bleak winter.
Yeah. Again, 10 degrees. You're cold out the water.
Yeah.
And then just to finish off, just take it nice and easy with a marathon up a mountain.
Yeah, literally, it's crazy. And most people don't make the run. They just don't get to it.
Can I just say something then? So they've got this. I think this is awful. I mean, well, okay. Let me see what you think. So finishers get a black shirt. Everyone else gets white. So it's like a loser shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
But is that a mentality thing?
That's what I wanted to say.
But is that bad?
I feel like that's how
I feel like
Russia
the British culture now doesn't really endorse that culture because it isn't. It's just rewarding people who were good. Like, is that a bad thing? You know, the whole sports day thing.
Oh, I suppose it depends how you see it. It's because
okay. You're seeing it as you're losers.
White,
no, I'm seeing it as you have earned this. Well done.
Yeah, it's like an elite club.
Yeah, basically, it's a gold star, and you will get silver.
Okay,
that's fine.
What about then? Everyone that runs a marathon under 2:30 gets a certain medal, and everyone over 2:30 gets a different medal.
Yeah, they get a kudos from me on Strava.
Wow,
that's big.
You got like the Paul Hollywood handshake.
Yeah, that's it. Mate, that's twice someone's referenced that this week.
What?
Paul Hollywood handshake.
Tell me what happened.
A guy, I said he done it like it was a swim he was doing. I'm sure it was, and he was like, "Oh, is this close to like a Paul Hollywood handshake?" And I went, "No."
You must give off the same energy, mate.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, poker face. Unnecessarily like nasty. You should have tried harder.
Orange glow. But yeah, so I see that as a good thing. Like, reward people who work harder. Like,
yeah.
I feel like it's not. Why is that?
I think it's the way I read it. I think it's because finishers get the black shirt. Yeah. But everyone else gets a white.
I think that's why sport, like, it's easy to process in life sometimes.
How do you mean?
Well, if you cross the line in first, you win. But in life, just because you're good at your job doesn't mean you're going to win. Because you might be liked by no one in your workplace.
I think that comes down to controllables, right? So in the race, everyone agrees the rules.
Yeah.
Marshals enforce it. You run it, you win it.
Yeah.
Life, people cheat.
Well, they bend the rules, you know, So I think that's why sport is quite an easy way to process it. Maybe that's why, as the world at the moment has become slightly more hazy with all sorts going on. We're not going to talk about them on here. We're going to know there's so much stuff. More people are finding running.
Yeah.
Because you just go out and run. And if you set a time, you get it or you don't. Simple. Done. That's it.
Not complex at all.
Yeah, not complex at all. The simplicity of sport.
Yeah.
You know, triathlete is a complex entity, but it's still sport and it's still simple, you know.
Yeah.
It's still the same. And a lot of people are going, well, I want to just do Ironman because it's the biggest achievement. It's the simplest thing I can think of doing, but it's also the hardest. That kind of thing. In the world that's quite muzzy at the moment between left and look, turn the TV on 1 minute, something's going on, and then the next minute something else is going on.
Trick is, I've got a tip for you.
Go on.
Don't turn TV on.
Don't turn TV on. Yeah.
You're welcome.
That's the key. Anyway, so back to the Norwegian method. So how would we even think about applying this?
Yeah, so I was going to say to you, as a listener today, what's the simplest way that you can take this and apply it to your training? And you can maybe apply it in different models to somebody who's got more or less time, slightly different goals. So
I mean, on the basis of it, people kind of see the fact that the Norwegians train a lot. They do a couple of double threshold days, and they control their lactate.
In Norway, apparently, there is no word. I'm leaving the room. What Christmas cracker did that come out of? Ingebrigsten.
Okay.
Brigtsen.
It must be like a silent.
Ingebrigsten.
Yeah, okay. Fair.
Ingebrigsten.